Let me see. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm on. Just waiting on a couple of more people to come in. How are y'all doing today? Let me pin this phone number on here for you. 01. How y'all doing today? Just bear with me for a moment. God dog it. 3. Hi y'all. Oh my God. 4. Hi everyone. Just bear with me. How y'all doing today? I'm trying to pin this phone number on here. Hold on. How do you do this, miss? Okay. How y'all doing? It's hot. I gotta take this jacket off. Oh, I didn't hit the am I on live? I don't know if I'm on live on that. No, I'm not on live on here. Hold on, y'all. How y'all doing today? Okay, our topic for today is colorism and racism. But I can't, let me see if I can get online on my Instagram. So while I'm doing this, let's okay, I'm on now. All right, we're on now. Thank y'all for tuning in. How y'all doing today? I'm waiting on my co-host to come on before we get started. Let me go ahead and do this.
She's a DJ, she's a social media TV host, and she's on fire. It's Table Talk with T-Salt.
Yeah, we're gonna have that going while he comes on. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? All right. All right, y'all. Just waiting for him to come on.
She's a social media TV host.
All right. Okay, y'all, just bear with me for 1 second. And how was y'all day today at work? Let's talk about this young lady that put that what is it, that gorilla glue on her hair? Let's talk about that right quick while I'm waiting on my co-host to come in. He's ready. Okay. Let's talk about that. Why did she put that in her head? Talking about she's trying to sue them because they didn't tell her that it was hey. I might need to put my phone down this way so I can sit there. There you go. Yeah, they didn't tell her that it wasn't for hair, but everybody knows that Gorilla Glue is not for hair. I mean, everybody knows that. So that's crazy.
I want to say something, but I'm not going to say nothing about that.
No, say something. I mean, this is a talk show.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, on our Instagram page, we have Christopher Harrell. Is that saying your name right?
You did. Harrell.
Yeah. Okay. He's my favorite. He, whenever I need him to come through, he's gonna come through. He's actually a comedian. He's very funny, so hopefully he'll give us some at the end of the show because I did ask him to.
Okay.
So, what were you gonna say about the young lady that put the gorilla glue on her hair?
I don't know if she was doing it for attention or she was doing it because she literally, did not know what the product was. But with her being 40 years old,
you know what gorilla?
No.
Because
one thing you have to keep in mind: there are a lot of women that do not know anything about building anything or attaching anything or adhesives and stuff like that. I know, but I'm just saying she may not have a uncle or a father figure or something like that that has build stuff. So nobody told her that Gorilla Glue is permanent. So I'm one. She don't.
It don't take a rocket
She don't
science to
read. She don't
read.
read it. She don't read. She thought that.
And
She
then,
thought that. All right. So there is a product that's called Gorilla Glue.
it is for our hair. It is, but it's not. It's in the hair aisle,
Right.
not in the where they sell the tape and invisible tape and double tape. It's not in that
Right.
aisle.
I'm thinking.
It's gonna say for hair. It's gonna have hair on it. It's not gonna say the nail to glue some shit. So I believe she did because she got that ass got a blue check. Shit, maybe I need to do something with some attention. So I can
I'll pass. I'll pass. I don't need that type of attention because she's gonna have to
I
go
ain't
bald.
talking. I mean, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But maybe I need to do something. She, I may give me a fan only page or something.
I mean, hey, look, show your naked toes and let everybody see your toes.
It won't be no toe, but
We'll talk about it off there.
okay. And we also have Bridget. Bridget's gonna come on too. So yeah, everybody said she was doing it for clap, but I just don't think nobody would take the time out to what because now you bald headed, now you have to go to LA to get a surgical remove. And I did her she has a GoFundMe page.
You gave some money.
She had like $13,000 already.
Last time I checked, it was at 16.
So it done went up. Wow, people do that much clap. Oh my God. So we have Bridget on our Facebook and we have Christopher on our Instagram. Did you try to do the Instagram?
There you go.
I'd rather for you to be on Instagram. Try that first, then come back on here if it don't work. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna have Christopher and we're gonna have Bridget on. I'm gonna get better at this. So today's topic is colorism and racism, which it is a difference. Colorism is like prejudice or discrimination against your own race and your skin tone. And then the racism is based on race, of course, usually comes from a different ethnic group. So we're gonna talk about that today. So I wrote down a lot of gestures. I have been researching this for a couple of days because I think it's a topic that needs to be had. And we also put the phone number up for you guys. I did pin the phone number. I think I did it on here, but I'll go ahead and pin the phone number. In case you guys want to call in, if you don't feel comfortable in making a comment, you can always call in and then we can do it that way. So hold on. So yeah. So, the colorism thing, it goes back to the slavery days though, right?
It does. It falls back into the days where our parents and forefathers were sharecroppers or whatnot. You can actually watch the movie Django and get a lot of information from there and see how they treated the fair-skinned, as they call them, not the light-skinned, the fair-skinned Negroes versus the dark-skinned or a darker hue color Negroes,
So when you say fair-skinned, you mean my color?
You would be considered fair-skinned. You would be considered fair-skinned.
So I would have got all the privileges back in the day.
Say it again.
So I would have got like chosen first.
You would have been
back in the slavery
You would
days.
have been considered a house Negro.
Oh, he said I would have been considered a house in grow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, so the colorism is really not. It really just didn't come in the 20th century. It was back when
My forefathers.
when not our parents, but our people back
our greats when they were in slavery. Yes, colorism has been going on for a very, very long time, and it has carried on over the years. What ends up happening is that a lot of times we do not know the history of how it started, and so we tend to make it well, this is what we thought it was about, and it really isn't that. So people have to go back and look at colorism as far as back in the slavery days, because you had the house Negroes who were
Uh-huh.
fair skinned, and then those who could cook very well. Um, yeah, those that could cook very well, because you have to keep in mind, think about it from the aspect of the slave master. Would I rather
Okay.
have and I hate to say it like this, would I rather have a darker hue person inside of my house to be presenting to my friends, my other white constituents, or would I want a fair skinned person in the household? You know, I
Mm.
mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, the fair skinned slaves, female slaves, were the ones in which they like to sleep with. You know, they didn't believe in that darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. They just thought, hey, look, at least you got a shade up above my wife. So I mean,
Oh
so
wow.
that's who they slept with.
Yeah, so that's why they was having all them babies. That's why they was having all them babies,
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, you got to. I mean, go back as far as like Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson slept with his slave, and
Oh,
I cannot confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that she was probably a fair skinned woman.
oh. Yeah, maybe I need to go watch Jenga. I don't like watching like that's like with the what's the like roots and all that stuff. I don't like watching that type of
I
stuff.
was getting that way because there was a flood of people putting out these movies back to back to back. I got tired after Birth of a Nation when they talked about Nat Turner.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
I know my history. I studied my history. So I don't need a reminder of it. And truth be told, there are some movies that really didn't get the credit that they should have gotten. Um, one thing that you will notice in a lot of movies is that when they hung slaves, they didn't they didn't show what all happened when they hung slaves. Not only were they
Mhm.
hung, they were also burned. And, some of them were tarred and feathered before they were burned. There were some movies where they showed them hanging and they were burned. But there is one movie in particular that actually showed where they actually dropped from the tree. They never showed that in
Mhm.
Hollywood. They never showed it in Hollywood,
Okay.
and they showed it in the movie. It's probably about 5 years ago when they showed it. I cannot recall what movie it was. It's a lot of history, that goes on.
So go
It's a
ahead.
lot of history that goes on within the movies. I mean, me being a communication major, broadcast and communication major,
Mhm.
I watch movies all the time.
Okay, so with this colorism going on, so when they was hung from the tree, is that because they were sleeping with the white women, the black
For
men,
any reason, if you were hung,
or for
yeah,
any
for any
reason?
reason, you were hung. If you were belligerent or it felt like you weren't doing what they asked,
Okay.
you tried to run
Okay.
away, you get hung.
Okay. Back in the day, there's a lot of white women that like them black men, though. And like back in the day, back in our ancestors. Like I said, the colorism, Bridges on Facebook, the colorism it's still going on there because I find myself like if I see a pretty young lady that's darker than me, I say, oh, she a pretty dark skinned girl. But I don't mean no harm, but I just always say it, and some people get offended by that because I don't like nobody to call me red bone. So, but I don't say it, to them like, oh, you're a pretty dark skinned girl. I can say to myself, oh, she a pretty dark skinned girl. It's nothing personal. I just have always said that.
We always,
But it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it's a I can't remember the word, but it's like I don't like nobody to call me a red bone, but I'm calling you a pretty dark skinned girl.
we use adjectives
And then
to actually depict who we, talking about. I mean, it's just like you said, oh man, she a pretty little,
it's like a double
yeah,
standard. That's what it's called,
yeah,
double standard.
yeah.
Yeah,
People say, oh man, she's a pretty thick girl. Why she got to be thick?
yeah.
Why can't she just be? She's a pretty girl. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but we as black people in our culture, that's just how we talk. I mean, it's like nothing being derogatory against a person, but like me, I don't like red skinned men. I like dark skinned men. It's like stereotyping people. I'm sorry, I just don't never dated somebody the same color as I. And then, like in most cases, some dark skinned guys like red bone. So I mean, it's just
I think they used to
I guess
call it
it's
being,
just no
yeah, they used to call that being color struck. That's what that was. So
Well, maybe, well, that's what it is. Cause I wasn't dating no bad like your color.
It took me a long time to realize that I was not. I thought I was just a nice little caramel colored little kid. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you are very handsome, but I would really you would have to really woo me for me to date you. I mean, I probably would date you, but like in the like being together, you would have to. I mean, I have to really like you, and you have to really woo me for me too, because I'm just so attracted to the dark skinned men, and that's probably why I'm not in a relationship right now, because the dark skinned men, not all of them, they're no good. So maybe I need to quit being color struck and maybe go inside and do another color. I mean, I don't know. Maybe another color is not the word to say, but maybe I need to
Well, they say
do something
love
different.
has no color.
Yeah, I mean, do something different than always sticking to the dark skinned, the bald headed man with the goatee. Ooh, it just does something to me.
Lord Jesus, love has no color.
It really doesn't, but the love that's just my
I heard.
preference. Like you might like skinny girls.
I heard, you know what I'm saying, a fair skinned man say love has no color, but if everybody relates it to red, then you must need a red nigga. So I mean, I heard that before.
You said the N-word?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, but I heard.
Yeah, Kenny told me to bring to our personal preference. Don't like us back. What color are you? Look, what color are you? I'm just saying. She said, yeah, but we are color struck. I mean, so back then when our ancestors was doing it, I mean, it still goes on right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's never going to change. It's never going to change. We still going to have our preference. And so, Bridget, what you think about the colorism? Like, because it's been going on since the slavery days, but it's still going on now. Like the rap videos back in the day, you wouldn't dare see a dark skinned girl in a rap video. They always.
I don't know. Yes, I was a very.
I said back in the day.
No.
Like back in the day.
No. That's untrue. That's untrue.
Well, the videos I done seen, like Jay-Z and Nelly,
no, you ain't going back far enough. If you will go back to LL Cool J's Around the Way Girl, the majority of the women in his video were chestnut color. He didn't have red bone. You can go back. You go back to Big Daddy Kane's video. The colorism came into play when 2 Live Crew hit the scene. When 2 Live Crew hit the scene, that's when the color struck came in. The light skinned girls and right, because that's when the light skinned girls came in.
No, Soul Train started. She said when Soul Train started.
You talking about the Chinese girl?
You talking about the Chinese girl? She's not even considered. Is she considered colorism?
Well, that's race.
I didn't want to be like that. She was light skinned. She wasn't light skinned. Well, she was Chinese because they can only be there Caucasian. They are not African Americans.
But as a younger child, I didn't really understand. I just thought she was a light skinned like with long.
No, she was Asian. She was Asian.
So you mean to tell me, lady, that when you was a young child?
When I got older, well, of course, when I got older, I realized. But at one point, we really didn't see a whole lot of like black, white, Asian. We had black, white, Chinese, but I just thought that she was just a light skinned lady with long hair, and I wanted to be like her.
No,
oh, okay.
No. Sorry, ma'am.
I always knew that she wasn't black. I mean, everybody has their own preference. I mean, if you didn't know, you didn't know. But I knew. I don't know her, but I knew that she wasn't. Cause her ass was like this. That black people, well, some black people ass was like this.
That was very racist.
Huh? He said that was racist. What I did. I'm sorry. Kenny said dark skinned girls would be the dancers in the video, and the light skinned girls were the girls that rappers and singers wanted. Oh, okay.
Or did the love scene, so they would have lost the love scene.
Did the love scene do it?
I mean, you got to remember the lyrics even gave you.
background.
The lyrics gave you what a man want, like the rappers. I mean, listen to what LL say. I want a girl with extensions in her hair, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, Fendi bag, and a bad
And that's
attitude.
what yeah, well, see, that'd be me, but I'm not dark skinned. But that was Jay-Z said in his Girls video when he had the African girl, he wanted a girl, a blue papa, whatever he said her name was.
But see, he in Girls, he had girls that were all color. You know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm just saying because he had different, he had different girls.
Right.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, well, you could talk about colorism even within the music. We can go over to R&B. Look at Beyonce versus NDRE. The labels push Beyonce more than they push NDRE because she was fair
And you think
skinned.
it's because of the skin
Yes,
tone?
ma'am. Give me the last dark skinned female artist that was on top.
What's the girl name? The one sing what's the one lady? The one that sing
Andrew Day.
no, when I get on to you.
You said Angela Day?
Something.
Angela Day's a fair skinned lady.
Angela Day. He said
She's a fair skinned lady. I said
what about
dark
the one
skin.
saying Baya Buddha? What's her name?
Oh,
Fair skin.
She fair skinned
fair
too.
skinned.
She should.
Yeah.
She's my color.
You're
Yeah.
not gonna find it. Like say for instance, you got Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B.
You got me.
You got Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B.
But Cardi B is my color.
Right. But guess who's killing all of them? Rhapsody. Rhapsody has better lyrics than the both of them. But because they are fair skinned and they both sell sex, Rhapsody's not gonna get that same energy.
So she's an artist?
Yeah, Rhapsody is one of the bangers. She actually was like lyricist of the year.
Oh, is she new or something? Is she
Been out
old?
for a minute. Like I said, labels will not push her because she's not light skinned.
So, I mean, what about Janet Jackson? Janet Jackson is not fair skinned.
Like I said, what was the last person? But
Guess who she riding on?
Who name?
she rode on the Jackson train.
Michael Jackson. Well, you know Michael Jackson was brown skinned until he started bleaching his skin, and Lil Kim too.
Well,
Right?
good point. Set.
And you know, they had Vitiligo, whatever you call it.
Very, what is called?
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo. Okay. He said Fantasia. Yeah, Fantasia.
There you go. But then even with Fantasia, even with Fantasia, it came with its own issues. But she can't read.
Oh,
You know.
you stupid. Let me see now you stereotype people. She can read now. They said Jasmine Sullivan. Jasmine Sullivan got a new ID, new CD.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we got into that. See, I was trying to get y'all to go ahead and talk, but I'm glad. Jasmine Sullivan, listen to what she had to do in order to get on top.
So why she didn't go through Missy? Missy is a dark skin, so because she was with Missy. So she did an interview saying what she had to do to get her.
No. What I'm saying is, in order to get on top in the music business now, sex sales. Okay, sex sales. We know that. Cardi B.
Her weight and her skin complexion.
Thank you. Her weight and her skin complexion, and then the music that she was putting out. Also, she came out with an album called Hotels. That was gonna sell.
Because it's sex.
Right. Like, it's a double standards on both sides. Everybody got on Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, with the WAP and all that stuff. Kendall said, watch the rap dudes get up all in your guts. French vanilla. Wait a minute. He said French vanilla, butter pecan, chocolate deluxe, even caramel sundaes is getting touched and scooped in ice cream truck.
Oh man, yeah, that's Raekwon. Yeah.
Oh, Raekwon.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's on Wu. That's on Wu-Tang. Yeah.
I like this man.
Yeah, that's ice cream truck. Yeah. That was a banger.
What is he quoting? I thought he was.
That was a banger. Yeah, that's old Raekwon the chef.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah, she said Anita Baker, but Anita Baker hadn't put none out since the late 90s.
Since the 90s.
I mean late 80s.
Late 90s.
Since the 90s.
Yeah.
I like Anita Baker. I like Anita Baker. So, you know, these biracial kids, let's talk about that. Because I'm talking about the biracial kids. You know, they get so bullied by having a white mom or a black dad or whatever the color may be. They get bullied in school because they have stringy long hair. You know what? Let me tell you something. Somebody told me that they were speaking to their mom, and I always ask this question, like when the young guys go over to the services, like to the Army, to the Navy, Air Force, whatever, they always get them a white girl or well, not a black woman. Why is that?
I can answer that
Why
question.
do they go overseas? Yeah, why do they go overseas and get not an African American woman? They always do that, and I always ask, like the people that I know, parents, their kids that goes across the seas, I always ask them, you know, you're gonna have a mixed baby. I don't want no baby with no stringy hair. I'm like, man, you know that is racist. How you gonna say that? The baby may not even have stringy hair. The baby may even have your type of hair, which is that nappy hair.
There are a lot of misconceptions that go along with why men in the armed forces will pick a white woman or a Vietnamese woman or whatever. Some people say, you know, hey, because they are such dominant men, they want a woman that's going to be submissive. So they, you know, most black women ain't gonna be that submissive to them.
Ain't no black woman can be submissive here. I mean, Bold 99 said, why do they do it here? Because, like he just said, most black women are not going to be submissive. Okay, well, I mean, why we got to be submissive here? Y'all ain't submissive.
Well, it's because people don't understand what it means to submit. That's the thing.
Okay, but tell them what submissive. Tell them what submissive means that was in the Bible. Tell them.
Okay, so when you take your vows,
I mean, you don't have to say verbatim. You don't have to say verbatim. Just
I'll give you the quick version. When you take your vows, every man will sit there and say, "Well, wives, submit to your husband. Wives, submit to your husband." You hear that all the time, but they miss what's said afterwards, where it says, "Husbands, treat your wives as Christ did the church." So people don't understand that. Most men don't understand that. When the preacher says, "Treat your wife as Christ did the church," that means you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your life for that woman. So in other words, if she submits to you, you got to submit to her. You got to submit your whole life. You got to sacrifice. You got to put everything to the side for her. That's the part that they don't get.
You talking about a black man?
A man, period.
Because I know the black man ain't gonna do. You may have some white ones, some Mexicans.
Don't do that. It's some great. I mean, it's some good men out here. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. I do what's right. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't cheat?
I'm not saying I don't cheat. I have cheated in the past.
No, that's not what I want to ask you. I say, do you? I say you don't cheat, meaning like right now. No. If you had a woman, would you cheat on her?
No, I'm too old to be sitting up here. I'm too old to be sitting up here lying and shit like that.
Okay, well, you can be my man.
Here you go. Off the market. Off the market.
Yeah, love connection. We got a love connection. Man, you a date. So you wouldn't date me?
That's not what I came on here for, man. I came on here to talk about.
I'm just asking a question.
No, T, you know, you and I have been knowing each other for years since I first started doing comedy.
Okay.
Of course.
That's how it started. So his answer is no, I'm too red for him.
See, she already said, I ain't dark enough for you, see?
I know, girl, right? I said maybe I need to step out and do something else. Oh, yeah, I said a whole lot. Hold on. Jessica said a lot of black women are submissive. Jennifer said because they are easy to sleep with. Who are easy to sleep with? You talking about the red women?
He was saying that people overseas. Foreign women. They love you long.
Are easy to sleep with? Overseas.
Yeah, they love you long time.
Me love you long time. Yeah. I said I don't like them.
Yeah, all you gotta do is get your eyes right. That's it. Get your cat eyes. There you go.
You break your body. You break your body. Nah, but I like Chinese
They
food
should have
though.
been like, you want Gorilla Glue or you want regular glue?
You see, let's see. Kenneth said, personal experience. When I was stationed in Korea, I didn't date a woman I could get in the States. Oh, so you go over, like if you go overseas, they have to have some type of green card to come back?
No, what he's saying is he wanted something different. So he wanted to have an experience with a woman outside of his race to experience what it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I respect to you, Kenneth. Respect. I can understand that as a man. Every man want to. Everybody,
Okay.
every once in a while, you don't want to eat chocolate ice cream all the time. You may want to get vanilla. You may want butter pecan.
When you say eat, what you mean? Eat the
You
pocket?
know what? See, here we go. Here we go. I'm just saying.
Hey, you said
I
eat.
was
You could just say
using
dance.
a
Hey,
metaphor. I'm just saying, but no, that's really what it is. Like sexual experiences. A man wants to have a sexual experience with a woman outside his race, just so he can say, "Man, I've had this type of woman, this type of woman, this type of woman."
I wonder what do you feel that? Do you? Because I wonder that one sleep with no outside of my race.
I'm sorry. What did she say? I didn't hear what she said.
Go ahead.
I said some women have thought the same thing to experience outside of their race.
Yeah.
You got a person that you have thought was cute that's a different race, as far as like especially like actors and actresses and things like that. But a lot of women feel the same way. Some of them, but it's seen more with men and some women that are in like armed forces.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never wanted to date outside of my race. No, I'm not going.
Well, we come from the school of, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. So, I mean, that's how it is.
Well, they can't use my comb anyway, or my eyeliner, or my lip gloss.
Well, first of all, if a man's using any of that of yours.
Oh, you said a man.
No, what I'm saying is our grandmothers and mothers told us as men, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. That was a way of saying.
I never heard the same before. Yeah. You have an old soul.
Oh, I was raised by some old pimps.
So you a pimp. Kenneth said hidden rule in the military when being stationed overseas, don't bring sand to the beach. Okay. Jennifer said some guys that get with women overseas is because it's their first time away from home in another country. Yeah, and they are high yellow.
I wouldn't say all that. I mean, hell,
overseas, you're not gonna see no dark complexion people.
Yes, you are. You can go to France.
So
you can go to France. You can go to France and see some. You can go to France and see a chocolate dude. I have a teammate that I ran track with. He's from France, and when I tell you he's as black as the roots in your hair, he is black.
Oh, really? Yeah. So what they call him? Panamanian?
No, French. He's a Frenchman. That's it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Jennifer said when she was in Germany, she dated a guy from France. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, okay then. All right then. Well, tell me something. So with these biracial kids, so don't you think they already have a problem with people? Some people, not all, that's mistreating them. But then just say if they have to fill out the application, what ethnicity are you thinking they choosing? Because now they don't put other on the applications now. So you think they choosing other? Because some of them say they black.
It all depends on what they feel. Honestly, that's where they get that whole transgender thing. I may feel like I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, or I'm a man trapped in a woman. All that stuff. They get to pick and choose. Like, you can teach your child, sexual identity. So what ends up happening is, the biracial child will grow up and get a job or whatever. They're smart enough to know that if this is a job, whereas they look at color or whatever, I may need to put down that I'm white in order to get the job, versus them putting down black, because blacks may not be able to get the job. I was looking at Sylvie's Love on Amazon Prime, which is a wonderful movie. And this woman's husband was trying to get this company to, trying to get an account or whatever, but they were using him in order to fill their black quota. What was interesting to me
Mm-hmm.
about it was he was a fair-skinned man. Even back in the
Okay.
day when black men were trying to do business or whatever, most times businesses didn't do business with you if you weren't a dark-skinned man. You couldn't have a Kyle Barker, doing
Okay.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Even on Living Single, that his blackness was challenged. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Right.
Yeah. So
He
Jennifer.
was well educated and articulate,
mhm.
and he even had the name. He even had the name that would be fit for a great job to someone who had seen his color.
Right.
But
Exactly.
as they like even single, you saw where they were saying, showing the difficulties because of his skin.
His skin tone.
They thought at one point they thought he was white
because his name Kyle Barker. Yeah. Kyle. Yeah, you would think. Yeah. Understandable.
He was very intelligent and he was very articulate. So
Yeah,
even now, like in the NFL, they're saying that they don't think that the black players are as smart as the white players.
Oh.
Well, that was something that they were saying back in the day about the black quarterback. They were saying that the black quarterback was not smart enough to understand the schemes of a quarterback, being able to read the defenses, being able to understand what to do if you're in trouble and things like that. That's the reason that they didn't pick a lot of these, quarterbacks from other schools. They're saying people like Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, who are both biracial black athletes. They're saying, well,
What about Dak? Dak is all
Dak
black?
is actually biracial also. His mother is white. I forgot about Dak.
Kaepernick, he's
Biracial. He's
biracial too.
adopted, but he's biracial.
He's adopted.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we do have some black quarterbacks. Like Michael Vick was a quarterback.
Teddy Bridgewater plays for Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
What's my guy with the crazy hair in New England Patriots?
Well, what about
Cam Newton. Cam Newton's another one.
Yeah.
My quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Well, good. So Jennifer said the state of Georgia says the child is whatever the father is. Oh, okay. Well, cool. Then. Well, good.
That's in the Constitution. One drop of African blood makes you black. Period.
Okay. Well, good for them. So
and that's what they felt about
Barack, and he's Hawaiian. So they're saying that they're saying Kamala, she's Jamaican. She's not black. Is Jamaicans considered African American? Because she's Jamaican and what?
No, she's actually Indian.
She is Jamaican. She got some Jamaican in her. Because I looked her up.
She got Latina and Asian in her.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So what they now saying that we got a black vice president?
I don't know.
They said Jamaican.
So Jamaican is considered African American?
I wouldn't say it's considered African American. I'd say that it's considered a black American.
Black American.
That's why applications have African American / black. Because you have a lot of people.
It does.
You have a lot of people that
right.
are of the island descent, and they don't consider themselves African Americans.
Okay. So do you think now? Well, it is. So I think now that it's a difference between the dark skinned and light skinned individuals getting jobs. Like if like you just said about the like the biracial kids, it depends on what the job is, you gonna mark whatever you think. I
think in this day and age, with companies actually being held accountable for the way in which they're hiring, I think that the reason being that they don't hire is the way in which you carry yourself. As my other young lady stated, Kyle Barker was very articulate, and he dressed the part. You never saw him in anything that wasn't fashionably forward.
Business
It's very
style.
business-esque at all times. You
Mhm.
know, even in his loungewear, it was still, you know, par excellent, you know. And
Right.
so,
Yeah, like he lived in the penthouse.
right, right. And so the thing about it is, it's about how you carry yourself. Can you interview well? Are you able to handle situations? If something comes up, are you quick to anger? You know, things of that nature.
Okay.
So
So do you think our skin color will continue to determine on how we are being elevated and judged?
I think that that's something that we have to fix internally.
I mean, but how are you gonna fix it? Because it's like generation after generation after generation. I mean, because
You
when our kids, they still gonna have to go through this colorism.
you have to teach them the history. If these young see, I deal with children all the time, and the thing is that, you know, if you teach them the history so that they'll understand their history, see, knowledge, people don't understand. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, not just
Knowledge is key and
yeah,
it's power. And the more these children learn about where their history comes from, they will start to really go away from this whole colorism thing and understand where this racism comes in from, especially systematic racism. Systematic racism was something that was already put in place to actually keep us down. The problem is we got so comfortable in where we were, and now we cool with it.
yeah,
People don't understand that when rap was actually made in order to speak out against what we were going through. We were going through systematic racism at the time. And the problem was, over years we allowed the music business to funnel money into our pockets. And once they funneled money into our pockets, we never went back to our home and built our homes up. And so then all of
yeah.
a sudden the hood just became the place to be.
Right. Well, these parents, these kids that's coming up now, these parents are not teaching their kids about our history. Yeah, they trying to be on TikTok with the kids doing busted challenge.
Pretty much.
So of course they're not teaching that. And then when we were in school in social studies, they taught us a lot. But now the new system now for these schools, are they still doing that?
Well, the problem is
Do you have social studies?
you have U.S. history. You have U.S. history, U.S. government,
History?
history and U.S. government. You have to,
What kids don't be
you
listening?
still have to understand that the teachers can only do so much. What are
So
we
much,
doing
yeah.
as parents? I remember when I was growing up,
Right.
my mother made sure that I read. Why is it that third graders can't read? The reason is because it's not the teachers, it's at home. If your child has
Right.
their iPad or their tablet in front of them on YouTube and not reading a book, then they're not going to read. See, we had it
Right.
hard. We had encyclopedias to read. We had books to read. We knew where the library
Right.
was. We walked to the library. We had all that.
Right.
These children don't do that.
Right. Yeah. She said we didn't have internet when we was
Hell
coming up.
no.
We did.
Nigga, we had a rotary phone.
Right.
Right. And you
Right.
had to keep stealing those discs that they were mailing to people's houses for 99 cents.
Right. Man, if they brought the rotary phone back, them big old cell phones that we used to do back in the day, man, them kids would go crazy if there wasn't no internet, no social media.
Yeah.
But the computers, the IBM computers were just the green
Right.
dots or
Right. Right. You had the TIs, the TI-80s, the TI-30. Man, do you understand? These children don't understand.
Them kids wouldn't know what to do if we went back to that.
But the thing is,
Jennifer said something. Go
no,
ahead.
but it's generational. Like we wouldn't know how to act if we didn't have a refrigerator and we had to wait on the iceman to bring ice to our ice box.
You better come on now.
Or wash your clothes outside on that
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
Man, so our ancestors have really paved the way for us, but I don't ever think colorism is going anywhere. Jennifer says sometimes it depends on the industry the job is in, based on the color. And I would think this is what this quote said when I was researching this colorism stuff. It said the dark skin is demonized and the light skin wins the prize. Wow. I was like, oh, okay then.
Well,
so it says the dark skin demonized and the light skin wins the prize. Wow. That's something. So so let's talk about stereotypes before we get up out of it. So stereotypes. So by being light skinned, I think that light skinned people get things quicker. Don't want to say quicker, or maybe how can I put it? You know what I'm saying? They get more things quicker than like a first skinned person. Which it shouldn't be that. I mean, because everybody's equal.
It should be. I would say it was necessary colorism in my home, but my sister and I have the same mom and dad, and she's very light skinned. Mm-hmm. Very light skinned. I'm dark skinned, and
well, you're not dark skinned. You're first. You're pink sack brown.
You stupid. Paper sack brown.
Over the years, but I'm dark. Listen, compared to my sister, I'm dark.
Okay.
And they even gave us nicknames. I was always chocolate chip. Even to this day, my people on my dad's side call me chocolate chip. I was the darkest niece or nephew walking around.
So how do you feel about that? As coming up as a child, as coming up as a child, she was light skinned, you were dark skinned. Do you feel like they favor her more than you because you was the darker child?
In some instances, yeah, not all the time, because there was always reinforcement to make me feel better. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, on some things, yes. Like with my stepfather, I can remember asking for some ponies. You remember those shoes, ponies?
I see. I got some.
My sister got the real ponies. I described exactly what I wanted. My sister got those, and then I ended up getting some shoes that said My Little Pony.
Wait a minute. So did you ask your stepfather why he did that?
Your stepfather was a comedian.
It was
damn. That man said he gave you some math. Yeah, so that was favoritism. So, but it's still going on now, though. It's still going on now. It's still going on now.
The jokes in there is too funny.
Yeah, because I have two light-skinned daughters, and I have 3 daughters. 2 of them are light-skinned, and my youngest one, she's darker.
Just couldn't keep your hand off that dark chocolate, huh?
But I have a dark baby, but she's so beautiful. But like when she was born, I'm like, oh, I got me a dark one. That's what I said when she was born.
Had to get you a dog, man, huh?
Even with dating, I've noticed that from guys that I've dated in the past before me, they've had lighter skinned women.
Yeah.
I don't feel any type of way because I know who I am. But I see that where there's a trend.
It is a trend.
Most of the time it's a trend. It was a trend, It doesn't make me feel bad because again, even though it was like a separation, I still have not necessarily a separation. They also made sure that they reinforced and make me feel like my chocolateness was beautiful. Mm-hmm. I got called chocolate chip still to this day. That's one of my nicknames. And then I remember being in the 6th grade and we had a substitute that came and he just stopped and he was like, "Oh my God, your skin is so beautiful. You got paper brown or the brown."
Yeah. Yeah, what I just said, paper brown. Paper sack brown.
Right. Mm-hmm. Paper sack brown. And so I always felt good about how dark I was. I never felt slighted, but I could see where there was some slighting. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always had to reinforce even though that there were I have a lot of cousins that are really fair skinned and light skinned, as my sister is. I still always felt like my black is always beautiful because I have a mom and aunt who always make sure I felt it.
Well, that's good because most dark skinned children nowadays they don't get that, and so they have to fight harder to prove themselves, especially coming up now as a young lady. Like Jennifer said, they will offer a drink at the bar, and to a light-skinned woman, then the dark-skinned will have to pay. And like you said, it's color
That's
stroke.
a lie.
I mean, this won't always be that way.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
But that's what she
If
said. I didn't
if
say
you
it.
at the bar and you look good, I don't care if you dark skin, light skin, whatever, man, you gonna get a drink. You are. It's about how you carry yourself. That's what it is.
Right.
It's about how you carry yourself. I mean, look at like the years of like when we were coming up in the sororities. I'll use the sororities for instance. A lot of fair skinned ladies, light skinned women would pledge AKA versus the dark
Mm-hmm.
skinned women would pledge
They
Delta.
still do.
But
They still do.
you know,
You're right. And
right,
They still do though.
right.
They still do.
But now here's the thing, and this is just from a male's perspective. Like in the South, you're gonna play as the two top ones if you fair skinned it. You're gonna play as Delta, you're gonna play as AKA. But it's not like that up north. Up north, if you fair skinned it, you're gonna play as Zeta or SG Row. The stereotypes and the colorism is different. I see you, Butterboo. I see you, Delta. And the thing about it is, for years, it's gone on and on and on. Like I said, it's something that we have to fix internally. And like she said, she's always felt like she was beautiful in her skin. The problem is, for years, we stopped telling our dark skinned women how beautiful they were. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, they are.
Right. How beautiful,
Like
right. How they are. Like, it's crazy. I saw a meme where it's like, oh, back in the day, I was an African booty scratcher. Now, you telling me, your melanin's popping. Now you want a dark skinned girl now. But back in the day, she was an African booty scratcher. That's what they used to call her.
Right.
You see?
Right. I remember that word.
So,
I remember that word.
yes.
I remember that word.
That
And
makes
then
it butter.
right. But like what are some stereotypes when it comes to colorism? I said prejudging people. You know, you get this perception of people and you don't even know them and you just
it's changed over the years.
like
It's changed over the years.
like they always say red women they conceited,
Stuck up.
they
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah. It's
Not
different
all
now.
red women.
It's different now. Red women probably some of the dumbest ones I ran into. I'm dead serious. I am dead
Well,
serious.
this was not.
You ain't that red now. I'm just saying now. You I'm just saying I've seen some red women who were not that bright. I've seen,
This blonde.
huh?
They said blonde.
Man, yeah.
This,
Basically, they were legally and unlegally blondes. You know what I'm saying? They were just that off. They were clueless.
Okay.
And now, back in the day, they were sophisticated, sedity, yada yada yada. For years, the Lola Falanas and the God, what is that woman name? She just passed away not too long ago. Diane Carroll were the epitome. They were the epitome of black women and how black women were supposed to look. Who broke the mold for all of that was Pam Grier.
Oh,
Pam Grier. Pam Grier broke the mold and became a sex symbol outside of that. For years, everybody wanted, on television from me, Diane Carroll was very classy and very, all that. But for me personally, I need a Claire Huxtable, period. Flat out. Every man wants a Claire Huxtable. You can say what you want to. Okay. Everybody want a Claire Huxtable. You may want a Korean Stephens in the bedroom, but you want a Claire Huxtable. You know what I'm saying?
Want a freak in the bedroom,
huh?
Yeah. Okay. You want an all way around girl that can do everything.
That's right. And most people, if you watch Cosby Show carefully, Claire Huxtable wasn't slacking in the bedroom either. She ain't had them 5 kids for nothing. She was getting that Jello pudding pop. Don't play with it.
Yeah, School Days. Yeah, School Days is a good example of colorism.
Yeah.
That's a great example of colorism.
Good or bad hair. The good or bad hair scene was the best scene.
Right.
You're just a jigaboo. That was it. That was the joint.
Yeah, that's a good one. So let me see. So now that we got the colorism out the way, let's go ahead and talk about this racism. No, like I said, racism is based on race, like from a different ethnic group. And we go through racism all the time. Whether it's individual racism, everyday racism, and you said symptomatic, which would be like, I think that would be like something with the prison or something like that,
Sy-
Warren. It has something to do with that,
no,
right?
systematic racism is something that was the system in itself, like the whole government system actually put it.
Yeah, like
Well,
prison.
no, not just prison, not just prison.
Okay.
You'd have to go back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt to understand how all of that started. The New
Okay.
Deal, the New Deal. So, if I have a look, let me see if I can walk it real quickly. When the stock market crashed, nobody had jobs. People were losing houses and everything, yada, yada, yada. Well, Franklin Roosevelt, or for short, FDR, actually came up with this New Deal. The New Deal basically was to start what was called the middle class, where everybody got a job, middle wage was created, all of that started at that time. Well, at that time,
Mm-hmm.
also, people were getting houses. And the banks were giving houses to people that had jobs. If you had a job or whatever, you could pay off this house, yada, yada, yada. But what the New Deal also did was it created what was called redlining. Redlining was basically the U.S. government would actually take a map of cities everywhere in the nation, and they would put color schemes on it, like the rich area, the middle class, white collar people, all that, all that. The red areas was the poor, the black people.
Right.
So,
Which it is now.
right. So what basically that redlining was, the bank was going to give everybody else an opportunity to get a housing except for that red line. Don't you cross that red line.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
Mm-hmm.
systematic racism started. It
Oh,
started
okay.
there. It started there. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? And so once that started, it was a trickle effect because, we got comfortable. We got comfortable. And where the red line was also considered the hood. And so
Mm-hmm.
now we boast and brag about, well, I grew up in the hood and I got street cred and I'm a hood. Well,
Right.
why are you happy about that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
There are so many people who came out the hood and did well. Why are you
Did very
why are you so comfortable
enjoying
doing
it.
well? Why are you so comfortable with being in the hood?
Because like you said, it's symptomatic. I mean, that's how they were raised.
But see, even
Not so much as raised, but as a child, they was born. I mean, like you said, it was raised in the hood. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they say that a lot.
right,
They say that all in the rap songs.
right. Like here's
They say it in
like
the rap
like here's the
songs.
thing that I would love to see, and I can't do this because I'm not a father, but this is something that I would love to see from my people. Instead of everybody going out of town, taking these trips, to Dubai and taking all these Miami trips and going out of town to these Floridas and islands or whatever. If you're going to take a picture taking your child out of town. Take your child somewhere besides Disney World, Six Flags, and all the rest of these places. Take your child to Dubai so they can experience a whole nother culture. Open their eyes up just like you open your eyes up. Stop leaving your child at home. Take them somewhere else so they'll understand that, you know what? I don't have to think that this is it for my life. You see what I'm saying? You know how it was back in the day when you hear white children talk about, well, we spent our summers in Paris or we spent our summers in Italy. Never hear too many black people doing that, you know what I'm saying? Unless they have money to do that. But it's funny to me that everybody can go to Dubai, but your kid's closest place they can go is Six Flags or Disney World.
Right.
Give them type of experience. Give them that same type of experience. You know what I'm saying? While you going out to eat or whatever. I did this with my baby sister. When I went out to eat to a nice restaurant, I wanted her to experience that too. Because the thing is, I don't want you going on dates
to Red
Lobsters. I need you to know what season 52. When season 52 first got here, I took her to season 52.
I love season 52.
You see what I'm saying?
I love all that
Fleming's.
stuff.
I took her.
But if you don't know, if you don't know, you don't know.
I know a lot of there are a lot of parents that actually do that. They take their children to these nice restaurants so that they can get the experience. But please take them out of town to get the experience. Take them. You know what? The funniest thing to me, and I say this all the time, people don't understand the history that we have here in the city of Memphis. Why everybody's talking about, Graceland, yada, 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 yada. Why don't we as black people talk about slave haven? Why don't we push?
What is it?
See, right, right there. Slave.
We have that here in Memphis.
Yes. Yes.
Where is it at?
Downtown. Downtown. Yes.
I've never. They just open or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the hours are now.
Slave Haven. I've never heard of that. So it's better than the Civic Center.
I'm not.
I mean, not the Civic Center. Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah. Yeah. You actually get to go through you get to see underground railroads and houses and all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm not
Don't get
saying.
me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong.
yeah, I want to go see that.
Civil Rights Museum is very great. Excuse me. It is wonderful.
But Slave Haven
But
is like,
Slave Haven should get the same amount of notoriety as the Civil Rights Museum should. Like most people don't even know why Auction Street is named Auction Street.
I definitely don't know. We have an Auction Street, so I don't even know where that Auction Street is.
Auction Street is downtown. Do you know that there's still?
I know where it's at. I mean, I know I've heard of it, but I have never seen
Do you
it.
know that
Where is it at?
downtown, right there by the pyramid, like going toward North Memphis?
Oh, on that
Yeah,
end.
and the thing about it is the
See, I
reason
don't
that
know
it's
on that
Auction
end.
Street was because it is a place where they actually used to auction slaves. And on that street, there is still a auction block that they have not taken off.
I'm about to go down that street tomorrow. Because I never knew that.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
I love my
See?
city. I can give you history about this city all the way to the T.
Oh, see, I never knew that. But thank you for telling us that because I never knew that.
But see, that's the
You
thing. We can't change everything around us until we change what's inside of us. And what's inside of us is we have to change the way in which we think. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a relationship. You can't say that you're ready for a relationship until you make a change. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you just said to yourself, I need to quit dating this certain type of men. I keep running to the same type of man and keep doing the same type of way. Well, why don't you change you? And the first thing to change got to be your mindset. And once you change your mindset, then you're going to do better.
Everything going to fall into place. And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to be singing in my way.
Right, exactly. With a light-skinned dude.
Right. Not no dark skin. But yes, but this was good. Yeah. So we're gonna always have racism regardless, and we have racism within ourselves, black on black, because we talk about the N word and the rap song. Hell, I find myself saying the N word all the time. I find myself saying it, especially these people that are saying it to these kids. Like my grandson, he's 8, I think. He called me the N word. I'm like, you like that? He said, I don't like that. Some of these kids, they're like, oh, what? No, these parents call their kids the N word.
Yeah, but the thing about it is you also have to make sure that you teach your children that it's not about what they call you, it's about what you act like and what you answer to.
Yeah, but they're not teaching them that.
But here's the thing.
These younger kids, younger than us, our generation, the generation after us, them 80 babies.
Well, hold on. I can't.
Are you 80 baby?
I'm not. No. I'm on the cusp of 70. I'm on the cusp of 70. I'm on the cusp of 70.
Are you in between?
I'm on the cusp.
I mean, but
I'm on the cusp.
I'm sorry, but you do have some parents that are teaching their children, like you said, the history of the black people. You do have parents, but
but see
these 90s babies, let me say 90s babies,
late 80s 90s 2000 children, especially these nuances, they call them millennials or whatever, but the nuances of it. But here's the thing that you have to also take into consideration. These children have a thirst for knowledge, and the reason I say that they have a thirst for knowledge is because certain things were not taught to them, and so once they learn, they then have to make a decision, and that's what we've got to do. We got to teach them if their parents haven't taught them or they weren't listening during that time frame. See, there's a light bulb in all of these children that just has not been turned on. It's our job to turn it on. And that's what I try to do.
Who you say are? You mean the
No,
teachers?
just us as a whole. It takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
Somebody said it don't take a village to raise a child.
Whoever said that, I don't know how that child got raised. Because it took a village to raise my black ass. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Ooh, I was told it didn't take a village to raise her child. I said, oh, okay then.
Okay.
Right.
But see, that's the thing. Nowadays, people don't want to use a village because, people are so scared. Well, these people, babies getting raped and children getting shot and things like that. Well, if you cover your child with a little knowledge and with prayer, I promise you, it's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? So, but in essence, it always, takes a village. That's one of my best jokes that I tell during graduation time is that parents do not think for a second that we're going to give you kudos because little Ray Ray graduated from kindergarten. No, we're giving his grandmama props because that's who you dropped his ass off to while you was out at the club. That's who raised your baby.
What you say?
That's who raised them. So, it is what it is.
So can you go ahead? So before we get on the pattern, can you go ahead and give us one right quick?
A joke? Man, look.
Come on, and I had already.
You did tell me that, but I'm an impromptu one. I'm on the spot, Johnny on the spot. So that's how it is.
Well, you on the spot right now? Come on with
it. Well, of course, this is COVID season, and everybody's been in the house and things like that, and I'm almost tired of watching the same thing over and over again. So while everybody's out here waiting on Netflix Part 2, I'm sitting over at the house waiting on Pornhub Part 2. But that's neither here nor there. Somebody will get that on the way home. So don't judge me. Judge your mammy. I'm out.
What? Wait a minute. That man don't judge me. Can't judge your mammy. You is stupid. Hey, I like Pornhub.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting on Pornhub too. I need some new stuff. Okay. What?
Also, you don't watch all the videos.
I watch them all, except for the gay ones. That's it.
Man, you need to do the OnlyFans page, man. They be off the chain.
I ain't finna do all that. I ain't finna pay nobody.
No, they have some free.
Oh, word?
They have free.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. I was on the other day.
We're gonna have to talk off screen. We'll get those.
We're not talking. So I just want to say, this is what I wrote down. I want to give not a shout out because they're dead. I just want to recognize some of the black people that have gotten killed by the police officers. So if I don't say a name that y'all know, then y'all can go ahead and see it before we close up out of here. Well, we want to say George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Philando Castillo, Botham Jean, Alton Sterling, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown. Come on. Who else?
So many.
I mean, just who do y'all know of? Because those are the ones that
those are the prevalent ones. Those are the prevalent ones. But there's so many. There's so many behind the scene ones that a lot of people don't get pressed for. So,
right.
Even though we haven't said their names, of course we want to remember what they sacrificed because they sacrificed in order to kick us in our butts because we got relaxed for so long about this whole racism thing. And one thing they used to say back in the day is don't talk about it, be about it. And that's what we have done. And I applaud every person who has marched, every person who has protested, all that. That ain't for me. Yes. I'm not a protester. I'll speak up. I'll speak up when I speak up. But, when I'm on stage, that's my stance. That's where I take my stance right there. As a strong black man, an educated black man, that's where I take my stance. So to those who we have lost in this struggle through racism, we pay homage to them. And thank you so much to their parents for giving us the opportunity to know them as people, because their names will forever be remembered for the sacrifice of their life for us. And it hurts even now, because even while we're sitting here watching this second impeachment of this past president, it is utterly ridiculous that we're sitting here watching how all these people can be so un-American, but yet still here in America, nothing's being done about these people who did that. But yet one young man or one young lady jumps out of line and stands up for the rights that they were given, their life has to be taken from them. So,
right. So we're gonna close out with that because you need to come on my show all the time. You can be the Donald Trump of the show. You did very, very well. You're very intelligent. I thank you for always coming through when I need you. And you too, Bridge. I appreciate y'all. So we just want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to Table Talk. We went over, but hey, it's okay. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all tune in each and every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And I forgot to read my emails. Some people send me some emails, but I'll read those next week because this was an interesting topic, and it needed to be said. It needed to be heard. So we thank each and every one of y'all for real. And I thank y'all, my panelists, for coming on. And so make sure y'all follow us on here, and thank y'all so much.
Until next Wednesday, 7 p.m., stay tuned and spread the word that Table Talk with T-Salt is the next best thing.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Chris.
thank you.
Can I call you Chris?
You call me whatever you want to, just don't call me Collect.
Bye, man.
Bye.